Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to Sun Crypto. It is January 17th, 2020, 9:35 p.m. Eastern Time. BTC 8900 on roughly on Binance, right? USD Theta. So in today's content, we're going to discuss BTC on the bigger picture, especially the monthly, weekly, and then we're also going to take a look at BTC on a lower degree, such as 1 hour, 15 minutes, 45 minutes, and take a look at the MACD, RSI, and all the good stuff, right? And try to basically figure out which way we're going, right? Because the bulls are basically pretty strong. I'm still on the bearish side, guys. I'm still 60% bearish, even though we get this massive pump. I don't think it's a big deal. We got this pump before 40% move, right? You guys can see it almost, right? 43% move. We basically making the same exact same exact move in terms of ratio, right? Give or take, right? Very close, right, to one another. So in terms of Elliott Wave, we're going to discuss it also. I talked about it back in August, September, the type of structure we got in this area, the three-way move pullback we got in this area, and the type of pullback we could be expecting if 14K was the top. And as you can see, basically first target was 72 to 75, second target roughly 57 to 63, give or take, right? But we got a beautiful bulls came out and give us basically a very strong move to the upside, right? But as of now, I still believe we still got another leg to the downside, a very strong could be a very strong one. It all depends how bulls want to give up. But in terms of Elliott Wave, right, it looks beautiful on the weekly. It even looks better on the weekly when you take a look at it, instead of taking a look at it on the 4 hour and stuff like that, which you're going to get a lot of noise on lower degree. But on the bigger picture, we're just going to start off with we're just going to start off with a weekly, talking about the Elliott Wave perspective, right? So let me add the volume first. But for some reason, we got a big divergence in volume. On Binance, the volume is extremely high, but on Bitcoin, on Coinbase and Bitstamp, the volume is not that great. Okay, even though price is pushing to the upside, volume is basically decreasing, right? So as we basically talked about it before, we're still looking for this move. We got this three-way move, pull back, another wave to the upside. We got this move, that move, and then we're looking for this move, right? So if you go back, as I basically said it before, if you go back in 2018, similar move, all right? I showed you guys back in basically September, August, right? We made this three-way move pullback, and then made basically a beautiful WXY correction, and that's what I'm expecting, at least as of now. That's what I'm expecting for BTC to do. Instead of a WXY, it could be a WXYXZ correction, right? So this wave, it is pretty much similar to what we did in this area. You could look at it also in this area, right? It is hard to tell which one it is going to be. But in term of moving averages, it seems like we just about this area. Okay, it could be this one, but it seems like we just about this area, right? So what I'm looking at as of now, I'm looking at this move to give us another leg to the downside, right? You could argue, you could look at it in different way. You could just take a look at this as a corrective move, could go a little bit higher, but it's not a big deal. I'm just talking about in terms of a bigger picture, what could we be expecting? We could get a rejection anywhere around this area, right? So, and then get the next leg to the downside. The next leg to the downside, just to speculate, could be any type of corrective move. Could be a zigzag, could be a flat. I don't think it's gonna be a flat, because the flat gonna make it very ugly, right? It's just gonna make it like this. Okay, so I don't think it's gonna make it. We're gonna get another flat next to a flat. So most likely a zigzag, or we can get a impulse, right, and get another triangle. It's just to basically speculate what could we be getting next, right? And then get the next leg down, right? So, and get this leg down. So instead of getting a linear, you know, correction, we might be getting this very complex correction, and basically complete the Z wave to the downside, right? So keep that in mind. Even after we basically back in November, if you guys go back and check my November's videos, I was saying like BTC pumping back up is not a big deal. It's just gonna make the correction bigger instead of us expecting like this move to be a flat, right? A flat like this move just gonna be a instead of this move being a zigzag, it's just gonna be a flat, excuse me, right? It's just gonna do like this, right? So you know, that's what I'm expecting, at least for the short term. Not like this, but like this, right? That's what I mean, right? So similar to what we got in this area. So hopefully you guys can see between the line, at least for the short term. That's not the first time BTC pumping you know, 2,000 points, 3,000 points, and everybody's been calling for you know, basically a bull run. If you guys remember back in you know, roughly August, first week of August, we said exactly, you know, 12K was a top, right? Said exactly you know, 13K was a top. Called for, basically we're looking for 14K rejection. We luckily got the 14K rejection, but as of now, maximum I'm expecting, it is going to be 9350 to 9500. We're going to take a look at it on the lower degree, right, to discuss how high we can go. It's not going to be a big deal. A rejection could be coming very soon, right? We could get it this weekend, we could get it Tuesday or even Thursday, right? So it's not at this time, it's not like how high it can go, it's like how low it can drop, right? So that's the most important. It already pumped like 15 to 20% from the breakout. So I don't want to be FOMOing for in this area when it is very critical, right? It already pumped 20%, right, from the breakout area of 7300 range, 7260, from the 7360, right? So I would be very cautious if I'm holding BTC, of course, right? I'm not gonna go all out on BTC, right? I'm not gonna be selling out, but at least if like we start to get some bearish momentum, I'm not going to be looking to add on in this area. It is a very you know, critical area to be doing some add on, right? If it proves me wrong, I'm still gonna get enough time, guys, to add on, right? But at least for the short term, I'm gonna be very consistent. I'm gonna be like, okay, you know, I'm not gonna add on in this area. But if it proves me wrong, I'm just going to reanalyze, reassess the structure, and look for a bullish momentum. Market got like plenty of momentum to not momentum, but got plenty of time to mature. So I don't think like even if I buy at 10K, it's not going to be it's going to be a big deal, right? So you take a look at it. Even if this is the bottom, you could be anticipating just a trend line. If you're a trend line you know, trader, you could be anticipating like up to right there, like a 17-18, right? Give or take, let's say 16.5 to a 17,500 range, right? So it is going to be a plenty of time, and most of us guys, you know, do not just buy and huddle. Most of us, at least at least speaking for myself, right? Most of us just at least leveraging it like a low leverage, you know, 1 to 3x, and then I'll let it ride, right? So no rush. So I wouldn't be FOMOing at all. Some pullback, boom. What's up, Patriots? What's up, Iceman in the house? Alright, thanks a lot. I'm gonna keep drawing ice. So hey, what's up, CryptoLean? Thanks a lot for tuning in. We need to, definitely, CryptoLean is saying like we need to break basically 9K. 9K, definitely. We already broke it. 9041, stuff like that. But with a very low volatility, we talked about it, like the volume we've been receiving the last few hours, you know, roughly 20 hours, been more than you know, it's been a selling pressure, not buying pressure. So volatility has to basically decrease, right? Hey, what's up, Muragan? Hey, what's up, Charlo? Hola, Yame Miro por Vetela. Hey, what's up, Reese? We're gonna talk about the downside, Reese. Hey, what's up, K4 Liberty? K4 Liberty, Bitcoin Cash is on in the market, man. It's going all crazy. We're gonna take a look at Bitcoin Cash also, right? And guys, if you want to take a look at any alt, sorry, I just if you guys want to take a look at any alt, we could be talking about alt, right? If we have some time, if you guys wanted to want to discuss such as, you know, I think like some of these alt, they looking great, like in terms of if BTC going to be pulling back, they're going to be looking great, like you know, ADA. I've been talking about ADA since October. I've been talking about ICX since October. ICX got a nasty pullback down to like a 1300 SAS, now almost back to like 1800. So it is a good pullback. I talked about Lisk, Steam, Nano, you know, Tron not looking that strong, but it is starting to build up a healthy momentum. So better, you know, pay attention about Tron. We talked about Tezos, time to reaccumulate Tezos, lower $1, right? I haven't taken a look at it the last few days, but it's not, I think like it was roughly around like $1.20 last time I checked it, but we talked about it, said like basically you know, $1.80 take profit, and then you could be buying a lower $1, right? And that happened exactly, right? So going back to BTC, guys, let's take a look at the daily. So basically the weekly, one thing we haven't talked about the weekly is like the volume. I like the Binance volume, but when I go back to let's see, let's check not Litecoin, Coinbase. Okay, when I check the Coinbase volume, guys, you can see clearly the volume on Coinbase is not all of that, man. And you guys know Coinbase is one of the biggest you know, you know, exchange in the world, right? So the volume is not that incredible, even though we got a 40% pump. You take a look at this, that's a 21 MA on the volume, averaging roughly 70,000 BTC. On the current week, yes, we got like 74,000, but it is barely over like the average, right? And it's not that great. We haven't broke this you know, we haven't broke this basically let's take a look at it, this big volume, roughly like 140,000. It's not even that close right now. We just got like 70. So we just have to be very cautious. Okay, we just have to be very cautious. Yes, we lose the weekly 21 MA. That's a bad sign for the bears, right? But the only good sign, guys, not good sign, not the only one, but like I just mentioned, be extremely cautious. The Elliott Wave perspective is speaking loudly on the weekly time frame, guys. That's a 3-wave move pullback, right? And you got your flat right there, right? Beautiful, guys. That's what I see on the chart. You can see it clearly. Okay, you can see it clearly. Just going back to talk about it. Don't want to spend too much time on it, right? We got this pullback, 3-wave move pullback, and then we got this drop to the downside. This drop, I talked about it, like, and you can look at it different ways also. You could look at it as a triangle, or you can look at it as a 3-wave move pullback. It all depends which time frame you're going to be using, but we talked about it since August. So keep an eye on BTC, keep an eye on you know, a possible you know, basically retracement. If you're in profit, make sure to put a stop loss. Of course, not financial advice. Not financial advice, but you know, just saying, you know, make sure to you know, manage risk properly, and then not let the market take the profit, right? If you're bullish. Hey, what's up, Nadine? So we're going to talk about chain link pro favor pathetic sell volume. ADA going to pump if BTC dump. So that's the only thing I can see. ADA is not even up. It's not even up like 10% versus BTC, like you know, the last 3 weeks. So it's still a sleeping giant to me, right? I'm not trying to pump ADA, but I think it is relatively cheap, right? But BTC, like I said, guys, it is a very bad sign for the bears to lose this 21 weekly you know, 21 weekly EMA, the yellow line. You can see right there, right? All right. It is a very bad sign for us to lose 21 weekly EMA. Heavy support. We talked about this support like a couple of months back on basically on Bitstamp. We said like exactly the weekly 100 EMA could be could save BTC. All right, so it did save BTC, but let's see how strong can it save BTC, right? So let's take a look at the daily. So right, so daily, as you can see, that's 18 hours. Looks better than the daily, right? So on the daily, as you can see, basically we're starting to make some to get some divergence on the R side. R side, we're still you know, starting to get a flat top, and daily still like moving to the upside. So if you check your you know, price action, you can see like we are basically making this move. That's not a good sign at all. I don't like this type of you know, wedge. You know, this type of wedges, like, because most of the time they can just like give you a nasty drop, right? And we're going to talk about like if we get a sell-off, at what price level could we be looking at to basically support the price, right? But keep an eye on this wedge. It is as of now, it is bullish. Like it's nothing like, you know, nothing you can say right about the bullishness of BTC, but we gotta find a way to basically you know, look for some you know, some you know, probable retracement, and look for heavy support for another retest of you know, 8900 or, you know, 8900 or 9K range, right? So keep an eye on this small wedge, right? It is tightening, so it is going to be the weekend. It could be very slow, right? So just keep an eye on it. So let's move on to the hourly time frame. So hourly, you guys can basically recognize what I'm looking for. On the hourly, I'm watching for two different moving, not two different, but two type of moving averages, right? The 200 and the 100 EMA. I've been waiting for this 100 EMA, the red line, roughly 86, 87. It is moving very fast, right? So on the hourly, so I'm just looking for this. I'm just looking forward for this area to be a good area to look for a heavy support. So if you're looking for a bounce, it might be a great area to look for a bounce. So if you are basically putting a stop loss, also you better think about at what price level you want to put your stop loss. So basically a retracement down to this area and another pullback could be another, you know, 4 to 5% pullback. It all depends. We're gonna talk about it if like we get this pullback down to 8500 range. So you know, look for another retracement before further sell off to the downside, right? So but volume on the hour is picking up. I talked about it like less than 12 hours ago. If you haven't watched my public you know, update, I said like you know, as soon as we hit this big sell-off last night, right around like 1 a.m. it was actually a big volume. Volume was like 8,000. So it's not incredibly a lot compared to how much we went up, but it is basically a good volume to you know, we're going to talk about Matic Hogan. It's not a big volume compared to like the buying pressure we've been receiving. So clearly you can see slowly the smart money been selling like since roughly like the 14th. It's been like almost 4 days, okay? Smart money been selling. Okay, we've been moving sideways, but you can see they've been selling slowly. This volume was roughly 9,000, right? We got another one like 8,000. So we got one 9,000. So you can see like we haven't seen like a big buying pressure. So they've been selling slowly. So most people pretty much very bullish, because the weekly is looking extremely bullish. So my guess is like they're gonna try to close above like 8,900 to a 9K range before Monday, right? Before Sunday actually, right? Because BTC starts, the weekly starts on Sunday, you know, 7 p.m. Eastern time, right? So before Sunday, I'm guessing like they're gonna try to keep the price in this range, okay? Anywhere in this range, because we're most likely gonna get a good retracement in this area. Probably keep it just to get this triple top before further move to the downside, right? So but Hey, what's up, Key Ross? Thanks a lot for the tip, man. HKN 700 sats. Okay, we're gonna take a look at it, man. HKN has a very low volume, but I think it's on Binance. But I will check it, right. It's been a while since I checked it, right. It's been a while since the last time I basically check it, right. So keep an eye on the hourly time frame. Keep an eye on your volume. Very, very important, guys. You know, whenever we basically pick the top, spot the top, it's because of volume, right? Not just in terms of Elliott Wave, but volume likes to speak, at least for the, you know, for the top formation. It likes to give you a heads up, right? Just like this move, right? You can see like this move. I was expecting BC to give us like a 12,000 selling pressure, and it did that exactly. So what I'm expecting right now, I'm expecting at least like a 14,000. If like we can get a 14,000 selling pressure on the hourly time frame, it's gonna be great any given hour, right? Especially at the top. If like we get it above 9k, it's gonna be okay, right? It could break this 9k, but it's okay. It's not gonna be I mean, if you're shorting, it's not gonna be good for you, right? So, but let's say we got you shorting right now, not right now, but let's say you're looking for to sell some BTC right around like 88, not 88, but you know, 93 to 9500 range. And then you see basically a big heavy volume like above like 14,000 on the hourly. That's it, guys. We're most likely going to see like you know, some further sell out, right? So that's what I'm looking for, at least for the short term. I would love to get it right now within like a 9k range. But if we get it above like a 9k, it's still going to be okay, right? It's just going to give us a better opportunity to basically enter higher and then take it to the downside. So and the move we're looking for to the downside, it is pretty clear. Let's take a look at it on the daily. On the daily, we already got the this move. You know, on the daily, in terms of Elliott Wave, is going to be very complicated to say like you know, if this one, you're looking for this one to be your 5 wave, or you're looking for this one to be a 5 wave, and this is going to be a 3 wave. At least for the short term, right? I was looking for this one, right, to be the 5 wave, and was looking for this to be the flat correction, but it is way overextended. It is still okay because we got a overextended flat in this area, right? So let me change the color. We got a overextended flat, and then we also got this way overextended flat. So it is still okay, right? So, but it is a 5-way structure we got. If you're looking for a retracement for a temporary retracement, you could be looking for roughly from swing low to swing high. If you're very bearish, you want to take the lowest point, right, which is like 6,400, just to be safe. And I don't think like you know, 236 is going to hold that strong if we're going to start a new downtrend, right? Most likely 382, which is like a 79 to 8100 range, right? That's going to be the next you know, for the bearish scenario, right? I'm not saying that we're going to get it this week or next week, but if we break the 100 EMA on the hourly and 200 EMA on the hourly, we most likely going to revisit 8k range, right? So I'm still waiting for this area, right? I'm still waiting for the 8k area to see how you know, how strong it is going to hold. So at the same time, guys, you got to be extremely careful, because this downtrend, they don't give you time to react. It's going to be very nasty like this. Okay, very slow bleed. You know, most of us been expecting like a 0.618, 0.786, but luckily from 10.5 and down, we never long. All we did just took a, you know, take a short and take profit, short it, take profit, short it, take profit, right? The only time I was looking for a long was like 81 to 79 for a possible retracement. That's it. But beside that, I was just taking it down, right? So we might be seeing some sort of reaction like that also. Like, market is not going to give you time to go long. So make sure to put your stop loss very tight in case like market want to turn very nasty, right? So very nasty. The daily 200 MA. The daily 200 MA. So guys, we got a lot to talk about BTC, man. I think like this, it is very critical. Most people are not paying attention to the bigger picture, but the bigger picture is basically is telling us like a different story. It is not calling for a bull, right? So going back to back in 2018, you can see it, guys. What happened back in 2018? Similar move, guys. You can see it, right? So same exact move we basically just did. Same exact move, 5-way structure. Okay, so I haven't seen a very big volume like this, and then BTC gonna try to push through. You can see like that's what I'm trying to tell you. Volume is very important. It's gonna give you a signal at least like you know, few hours before the sell-off, right? But this one we got a signal like almost like 7 days. Okay, BTC started to still. Okay, we pushed down and then corrected up. That move was just correction to get a double top, right? So you can see it, rejection, double top, right? We got this one, we didn't even get the chance to push back up, right? We got a 5 wave on the lower degree. You can count it as 5, and a strong sell off to the downside, right? So similar move again. Okay, a very similar move, right? Clean 5-way structure. Okay, this one could be just like this, right? Just like that, right? So excuse my nasty drawing, right? So trying to draw like Iceman. A token scam. It's on KuCoin. Who's that? Who's on KuCoin? Yeah. Okay, we're gonna take a look at NKN, right? I don't know anything about NKN, so I cannot say to buy or sell, but I can give you my honest opinion about NKN, right? So we're gonna take a look at it, right? So let's move on to NKN first, and then we go back to other coins. I think it's on Binance, right? That's a weekly, that's a daily time frame. NKN, not a sign of it is making some sort of ending diagonal. So I wouldn't be too bearish in this. You know, I wouldn't be too bearish. Okay, so it is a good sign at least, but the volume is very low. Like I told you guys, volume is very low. So the good sign is like your volume is decreasing and you're making a ending diagonal. That's very good, right? So you could be expecting another push to the upside just for volume to you know, to pick up, right? So volume is decreasing, price is decreasing, so that's a good sign. Selling pressure is decreasing, price is not dropping like heavily at the same time the last few weeks. So at least that's a good sign, right? So, but that's what I would say about NKN. It's not financial advice. You can sell or buy or do whatever you want, but I would at least give it some more time, right? Especially as the market is pumping. Most you know, most of the time, most of these alt, they're also going to pick up some steam, right? So keep an eye on it. If you know how to do your fib retracement, best thing to do, look for 236 to 382 retracement. So just to be conservative, right? So 232 going to be like roughly 250, and 382 300s. So you know, it's not that bad though. Like right now we at 180, 200. So you look for 50% pullback. So it's very undoable. Very pretty much undoable. Not undoable, but pretty much doable, right? So Hacken, HKN. All right, Kairos. So let's move on to Ethereum. Okay, Ether is basically also making similar structure. One thing I like about Ether, we got a very good moving average, which is the 25 MA, being basically acting as a let's see, been very helpful for Ether. So when you take a look at Ether, we basically give a price target for Ether, for 2020. First thing first, I was looking for Ether to retrace down to like a low $100, and I was saying like anything below $100, it is a good buy for Ether. It just took off like before retracing back down to like a low $100, but I was saying like anything below $100 to $80 range, could even break it. It is going to be a good buy, but it just give us this move. So pretty much very similar to basically BTC. We got this move, impulse move. We got this correction, right? So now we just drop down and giving us it is giving us another correction down, right? So this could be, all right, a 535. We could get another 5 wave down. If like we're gonna get another 3 wave down, because this one is wave number 1, right? We could assume that's wave number 1, and if that's the end of the wave number 1, right, for the bearish momentum, we could be anticipating like a further move down, and that's exactly how we anticipated. Not anticipated, but that's that's the type of structure we've been looking for, a 535. But this one is very impulse move to the upside to the 25 weekly MA. So if you basically bullish on Ether, if we break this 25 weekly MA, it is a good chance for you to take your chance. It is a good chance for you to basically take it to the upside if you're very bullish. It's been working fine for the bullish momentum. So, but I'm still bearish. So let's see if like Ether can break this 25 MA on the weekly, right? So keep an eye on it. We use it as a support, broke it, retested, drop. Okay, last time we also used it as it was basically a big resistance. We basically got a doji from it, right? Got a big rejection, roughly like a February, right? That's when BTC also dropped. Okay, the week of February 18th 2018, right? 2019. That's the same week BTC dropped from like I think like 4200 down to like the 50 MA, right? So drop heavily and then move sideways and bang, right? So let's keep an eye on Ethereum to basically give us some better some more data in this area, right? So bullish scenario, look for it to break it. Bearish scenario, you could be saying like it's not gonna break it, right? It's not gonna break it. So but it is up to you, right? So to decide which way you want to go. So let's take a look at Litecoin. Litecoin, similar move, but the 25 wasn't a major like resistance like back in 2018, right? So you can see that basically we spent some time just about it, right? Spent like 3 weeks in this area, but did not see like a major sell-off. Structure in terms of Elliott Wave, pretty much very similar. So I'm still looking for this move to the downside, right? So let's take a look at it in different angle. Yeah, Litecoin, we got this move down, we got this 3-wave move pullback, and then now we instead of like pulling back slowly, Litecoin is very overextended. So this wave could be this correction, this entire move could be the correction of the for Litecoin. This entire move could be the correction for Litecoin. So but we're looking extremely bullish. So if we break this area of like a 65 to 68 range, it is definitely going to invalidate this possibility for Litecoin. Volume is picking up very good. So let's see if like Litecoin can break this area of 66 range up to like to 66 67 range. Next area of resistance is going to be like a 75, right? Which means like Litecoin going to go over like 100% within the last 30-40 days, right? So but as of now, clean body structure. I'm looking for a sign of reversal on at least for the short term, but no sign of reversal on the daily. No sign of selling pressure, very low selling pressure. Price still like keep rising, right? So HKN, let's take a look at HKN. HKN, I don't see HKN. It's not on. It's not on. It's not on. I can't find it on. I can't find it on TradingView. So maybe like we do not NKN. I know we got NKN, right? Crypto, no crypto name HKN. Okay, I'm gonna take a look at it again, but we do not have it on TradingView as of now, right? So, but I don't see like a cool coin at all. Like I don't even think like LTC BC is not even on TradingView on KuCoin. So I'm not sure if KuCoin is on TradingView at all, right? So Coinigi, okay, I will use Coinigi later, but I don't think I think I got Coinigi account. Yeah, KuCoin is on TradingView. That sucks. Hit the likes, guys. Hit the likes. Hit the likes. So let's move on to King, the new king, Bitcoin Cash. So Bitcoin Cash looking extremely bullish, guys. Like we basically pulled back to 0.618, not 0.618, but I think like 0.618 to 0.78. Let's see. 0.786, right? Yesterday was like we were exactly at a 0.618. Now we push back up further to 0.786. So, and I think that's a log scale. Let's check it on Moonboy scale. Moonboy scale, we had a basically 0.618. That's why it is very good to be careful, because if you're on a Moonboy scale, the regular scale, you're gonna be like, oops, we're gonna be looking for the 0.786 next, which is like a 444. But if you use your log scale, you're gonna be like, oops, the log scale, we already at a 0.786, right? So that's why it is very good to be very flexible. So volume is picking up. That's a good sign, at least for the short term. But not sure if we bottom already for Bitcoin Cash, right? But it is looking good. No sign of reversal, right? But if Bitcoin Cash has already bottomed, right? If like I'm saying Bitcoin Cash has already bottomed, it means like BC has already bottomed also, right? But I don't think Bitcoin Cash has bottomed. We got a three-way move, another three-way move. Most likely we could be getting another three-way move down, right? That's a three-way move down I was looking at, and that's another correction, right? That's another correction, and then we could get another correction down here. Okay, down here, this one could be, this correction right there could be any type, right? Could be a flat, zigzag, triangle, whatever, right? Contracting, whatever type of correction, complex correction. But we most likely could be seeing like some further some more retracement down, right? Can it retest the top? Absolutely. If it retest the top, it's going to invalidate what I'm looking at right now. But it can absolutely retest like a 500 range. Okay, it can definitely retest like a 500, but it's going to invalidate the structure, and we're going to take a look at it again, right? So unless like we want to make some type of a triangle right there, okay, like this, right? Some sort of basically descending triangle, contracting triangle before moving to the upside. That's also another possibility. So basically, do not sleep on Bitcoin Cash. If you're pretty much too bearish, be extremely cautious, because like I said, as of now, that's what I see. But we can definitely make some some type of basically a triangle in this range. Okay, could be making some sort of triangle. It's still a possibility, right? So before either breaking to the downside or getting another impulse to the upside, right? So be cautious with Bitcoin Cash. Guys, make sure to hit the likes. Thanks a lot, Patriots. I mean, I'm sorry. I want to be a bull too, but let's see let's see at least for the short term. I want to be as much bullish as I would like to be, but BTC is not basically it's been like following our analysis since like basically last year. Yes, we missed some big run. You're gonna miss some big move. Okay, that's just BTC, right? Sometimes you might be thinking like, the move is not done yet, and then the move is done, stuff like that. But the bigger picture, we basically been basically following the trend since like 3,500 all the way up to 14K, all the way down to like a 7,200. It pumped back up to 10.4. We still like been 65% bearish, when everybody pretty much been like the rest of the market been looking for 50,000, 60,000, and we said like we're most likely gonna retest 63 to 57. We dropped down to 64. I was still bearish. I was bearish above 7K. But below 7K, I was saying like, guys, do not short BTC below 7K. Was pretty much very clear, right? Was very clear. Do not short BTC below 7K. So if you if you decided not to short BTC below 7K, you actually did not basically face any crazy losses, right? But if you basically did not just put your stop loss at 7100, because we took a short like from like 73 to 75 down to 68, and said like, guys, let's put a stop loss at 7K, right? So but because we actually said exactly, if you guys watch my public streaming, you can see we said this move, okay, we could still make this move, right? But this one is very overextended. I was expecting like up to like the weekly 21 EMA. Yes, we retested weekly 21 EMA, spent time like in this area for almost a week, guys. So it was quite accurate to yes, I did not long it because I was waiting for it to hit this area, and I shorted because I was very bearish, of course, right? But it doesn't mean like BTC cannot, just because I'm bearish doesn't mean BTC it's not going to go up. It's not going to prove me right, prove me wrong, right? So but the macro level, we're still on the same structure. Okay, we're still on the same structure. We just broke the descending channel, but it is okay, right? We broke it cleanly, right? If you're bullish, don't let anybody let you know like a BTC is bearish. Stay with your bullish momentum. But as of now, in terms of Elliott Wave, I showed you multiple times the 200 MA, it is right around this area, so do not sleep on it. Do not sleep on BTC. Yes, when we hit the real bull market, guys, we're not going to even have time to do analysis, so it's going to be moving so fast. So we're going to talk about ZILLIQA also. So let me go back and check the chat up and see. So we basically talk about the major coins. The next one going to be EOS, and of course King XRP, right? We're going to take a look at King XRP, of course. EOS pretty impulsive, right? So that's why sometimes I like to be very cautious with head and shoulders. I discussed this many times, right? These head and shoulders sometimes, right, they can definitely look like this, right, and then you're gonna think like it's gonna break, it's gonna retest this previous stop and give you this flat correction, and then you're gonna look at it as the ABC correction, right? But sometimes also you can get a very get a head and shoulder. Instead of getting a regular flat, you just get a very expanded flat like this, right? Like what BTC is doing, and then you're looking for this move. So at least for the short term, it is not good. It is not a good pattern for me to say like that's a flat right now. It doesn't look like a flat, but let's see. Let's see what type of pullback we're gonna get from basically EOS, right? So let's see what type of pullback we're gonna get. But it is very overextended, following BTC but moving much faster, almost over 90% up, like almost like 90% up, guys, since like December 18th, right? So let's see. Okay, most likely gonna cool. It's going to be cooling down at least for the short term. pullback, I would be looking for EOS. First thing first, these coins, since like they're gonna drop very fast, I would be looking for a 50% pullback, which is like a $3 range. So current price almost 3.9, so I would be looking for like a 2.9, right? 2.9 range, right? If like we're gonna get a pullback. If BTC going to be pulling back, definitely most of these are alt, definitely with like a 80% moves and stuff like that, they're gonna pull back a lot. They're gonna pull back a lot. So let's take a look at King XRP, still trading below 25 cents. XRP, I was actually expecting XRP to drop down to like a 16-15 cents and push back up to that was my target, like start accumulating from like a 16.5 down to like a 13.5, and then we're going to take it to the upside, right? But you can see sometimes the market can be very crazy, and I was saying it, XRP to 80 cents, I've been calling it forever. But are we going to get it from this move? It is very possible, right? Because it is very possible, but I wouldn't be highly like confident to say we're going to get it from this move. Let's break this area first of 30 on the monthly time frame. Let's break 32 cents. Okay, I've been calling it since like September, right? XRP need to break 32 cents on the monthly time frame, not just on the daily, right? Let's check it on the monthly. Yeah, monthly is looking good, right? But we got to keep up the momentum, guys. We cannot just move up, push the upside 20 points, drop 50 points, right? It's not going to cut it. So what do we need to do? What do we need to do with XRP, guys? So we just need to push XRP to close like above 32 cents. If like we can get a close above 32 cents, guys, it's going to look good. Okay, it's going to look very good in term of both in term of Elliott Wave and both in term of like also like a price action, because we talked about it in term of Elliott Wave. We said XRP, we're looking for this move, guys. So I showed you multiple times. If you go back, watch my previous analysis, I was saying like XRP, we need to get this move before making this move down. Can we get it before BTC retraces down to 5K, 6K, 7K or below 8K range? Absolutely. XRP can do its own thing without having to wait for BTC, at least for the short term, right? But at least for the short term, let's focus on breaking 32 cents for XRP before like calling for a further move to the upside, right? If Bitcoin Cash is doing it, I'm pretty sure XRP can do it. I don't think XRP is gonna slip. It's just gonna be sitting quiet this year, not doing anything, right? Most of these alt, even Ethereum Classic is a 3xing, guys, from $3 to almost $12, right? Almost 4x. It did it twice this year. So last year I think we pumped from $3.50 to like almost $8-9. This year we already pumping like from $4 to over like $10. XRP gonna catch up. I'm telling you guys, it's gonna catch up. So is XRP gonna go to $500? Let's see, man. Let's just put it on the ledger, and then we're gonna see, right, if like we can pump to 500. Don't say don't ever say never, right? So BTC was a penny 10 years ago. Right now we both arguing like if BTC gonna hit 10,000 or it's gonna hit like 20,000, 50,000, 1 million, right? So if BTC can hit my $1 million, definitely XRP can hit basically above $100 or even $500, right? So that's 100x from current price. So that's 100x for BTC. XRP can 1000x, right? So but it is just speculative. Don't go buy XRP because I said like it's gonna go to $500, right? So it is not financial advice. So I'm not going to tell you how to spend your money, right? So if not 100, I mean, if you buy XRP at 23 cents, most of you guys not gonna buy it at 23. You guys gonna wait till XRP is 80 cents and you guys gonna start buying it. Not financial advice, but I'm just telling, not financial advice, but I'm just telling you like what most people are gonna do. Where I remember buying XRP at 85 cents last year, 2018, this run up right here, right? May at the very top, guys. I bought XRP. I was like, man, okay, we're gonna go to the moon, so let me give it a shot, guys. And then one thing, you know, XRP was dropping all the way down, like 60 cents, 55. I'm like, man, let me just cut it right there, and then I can reaccumulate, right? So since then, you know, you can see XRP been down, right? We got this pump, just like BTC, okay? Did pump with BTC, pump alone in this area. We haven't seen a pump yet over a year, so I wouldn't be basically shorting XRP. And I said it, do not short XRP under 20 cents, right? Accumulate under 20 cents. You might not see it at 15. 15 is a target. Good area to look for accumulation, but you don't have to wait for it, okay? And I said it, I'm not advising you to buy, but that's what I see on the chart, guys. So could I be wrong? Yes, sometimes I can be wrong, right? But we can also be very confident, like XRP most likely can get a very heavy support in this area, right? But that's my personal opinion. Do your own due diligence. Just because I'm confident about a call doesn't mean you have to be confident about that call, okay? You can be basically look the other direction. If I'm bullish, be bearish, and you're gonna be okay also, right? So yep, look at the RSI. RSI looking great, like was looking great. Right now, it's not bad, guys. It's bullish, right? It's bullish. It's bullish. It's bullish. So guys, let's move on to basically ADA. ADA is still holding very strong, just about like 480. Just about 480. So we talked about ADA back in October, right, guys? October, November was actually November, right, when ADA was like a 440, 400 range. We said like it is time to accumulate ADA. We might not push to the upside from that current move, but it is a good time, guys, to be accumulating ADA in this range. A nice corrective structure sideways. You can call it sideways, bottoming, whatever you want to call it, but it is looking good, guys. It is they selling, big capitulation move. You can see how big the volume was. That's what I was looking for, BTC. Very big volume, selling, prices moving down, moving sideways. Cannot break basically 400 sats. It is looking good, okay? It is looking actually great, right? So just about to close the above the 25 weekly moving average. Been acting as a heavy support, push back up, resistance, now resistance. If like we close above this area of 25 MA, which is like 400 sats, 500 roughly, 480 to 5. It's right now 500 as I'm speaking, right? Just a minute ago it was like a 480, right? So you can see 500, we can definitely hit like 650 very quickly, okay? 650, after that we could be looking for like 1100 sats. So first target 650, and I've been calling it the last 2 months, right? So since October, November, we said ICX and basically ADA, my top pick for 2020, okay? Top pick ICX, ADA, for 2020, right there. It's not because like ICX is a great project or ADA is a great project, but the chart is speaking. The chart is talking, basically. It is talking. So let's take a look at VChain. Let's take a look at ICX next, right? NEO looking good at $12. Nano also looking great. Nano, pay attention to Nano, 8,000 sats. We could definitely, definitely hit 12,000 to 14,000 sats in the near future. OneChain, we talked about it also. We're gonna take a look at it, right? So ICX, we're back to 1,700 sats. When we started talking about it, was like when ICX was like, I think 16 to 1,800, roughly 1,800 October, right? Roughly like 1,800. So we back to 1,800. We said accumulate, okay? It is giving you a falling wedge. not a you know, we don't have big basically selling pressure as of now. Buying pressure is picking up above average. That's a weekly time frame, 21 MA on the weekly, 30 million ICX. Right now we are currently at 42 million, so that's good, right? But let's break this trend line, break this 25 MA on the weekly, and then you know, gonna give you a better chance. I could use a 21, but just to be sure, you're gonna give yourself like you know, enough room to say, hey, let's just wait, right? So if you take a look at it right now, we are at 21 MA almost, right? 21 MA, but if you go back to your 25, which most alt, especially Ethereum, like to respect also, you could be looking for a further move to the upside, right? So ICX first target going to be like this area of resistance. We got area resistance and another resistance, which is like 3200 to like a 27. That's exactly what we said also, 32 to 2700 range. So at least for the short term. But let's see if buyers can step in and give us that type of a structure. So ICX ADA, let's move on to a VET. VET is moving VET BTC. Take a look at VET BTC on Binance. All right, I don't know, last time I did an analysis, I think a couple of days ago, right? So we did an analysis on VET. We said like it is a good time to start buying VET also, right? A couple of days ago, I think that was a premium, our premium group, right? So it is a good time to start accumulating for VET. It is not for sure if this move gonna break 8300, but we could at least expect like this move to you know, give us a flat. If this wants to be it wants to be very overextended, it can be like Bitcoin Cash, okay? It can just retest this area with a double top, but it's not looking bad at all. Volume is picking up, price is picking up. That's a great sign. 71 sats, great, guys. When we talked about it, I think it was like 60, it was like roughly, that's a weekly. A couple of days ago, I think that was it was like 65, right? So not a big move, but at least for the short term, it could definitely push back up above this 25, right? So and probably get a, you know, I'm assuming we're gonna get a big resistance in this area of roughly 85 to a 93 range. Okay, 85 to 93. VET, we talked about it when VET was double tapping in this range. We said like that's the top. Look for some, you know, retracement. If you like to use your fib retracement, make sure to do this. Swing low, swing high. 0.618 also good confluence to basically be bullish, right? And then you can look for a pullback. So, and we're getting that pullback up to 230, up to 382, right? So if you want to be conservative, up to 382. If you're aggressive, you can look for up to 236, right? These two previous fib retracements, right? 232, 93 to, you know, 382, 82. So it's all it all depends on you. So 10 to a 20% move. Alt USD will pump if BTC stays the same, right? If Alt pump versus BTC, right, and BTC is dropping, Alt USD might not be pumping that much. So you gotta think about it, right? So if BTC going like to 10K, it's gonna move. It's gonna push 10%, right? So if Alt going to be pushing 50% versus BTC, they already pump on their dollar value 10%, and now they just because BTC pump 10%, right, and they pump another 50% versus BTC, that's it's gonna give them like 60% move, right, in dollar value. So you gotta think about it. So, but if BTC drops, let's say 10%, 15%, and they pump like 30% versus BTC, it means like they pump 15%, right? Because you just have to subtract how much BTC dropped, right? So to basically look for alt bull run. Hey, what's up, Gupta? So that's at least for the short term. That's what I think, right? So could be happening for alt. But we talked about it since October, guys. Accumulate Lisk, you know, Steam, ADA, ICX, ZILLIQA still very cheap. You know, Nano still very cheap. So and we're gonna talk about ZILLIQA next. So ZILLIQA just about 60 sats. I think yesterday was like, it was like 57, 55. So great area to be accumulating. Okay, we had a good run up, pretty nice, but it can give us another pullback, right? So I would be at least be very wouldn't say very aggressive, but you can also follow this trend line. If you're a trend line, if you like to analyze your chart based on trend line, you know, you can basically look at your trend line like this or like that, right? So, but just to be conservative, and you don't want to buy right now, you can look at it like that, okay, and say like, I'm gonna buy on this trend line, right? So, and look for this parallel channel. That's also another valid way of looking at it if you're a trend line trader. So it might not be a good you know, good alt to be buying if you like to do your analysis like this, right? That's a 2-day chart, right? So but if you look at the baseline, we are basically making a nice bottom formation. At the same time, for the bears, they can come out and say, oh, that's a descending triangle. That's why ZILLIQA is very aggressive right now, okay, in terms of bearishness. It is very aggressive, but I think, okay, this area gonna hold at least for the short term. Volume is very low. We at the bottom of the trend line, no selling pressure, so it is a good sign, okay? It is a good sign at least for the short term. Seller SEL. If BTC dumps, I would say like only alt that pump with BTC will dump. Okay, if let's say ZILLIQA did not pump, it most likely will pump. Let's say Lisk, I don't know why I'm keep mentioning Lisk, right? So and I don't have a LSK. Okay, Lisk. We talked about Lisk, right? A few weeks back in October. We said pay attention this to this trend line, right? So you can see it, we broke it cleanly versus BTC, right? And we talked about this since like October. It was right there when we talked about it. It pumped, dropped back down, so now we broke it. You could argue, oops, I want to do it like this now, but I don't think that's a valid way to look at it. So, but you could still okay, right? You still could say like, oh, we still at resistance, right? You're going to want to wait for a couple more days, but it is looking good. Our side is looking great, right? It's looking great. So currently just about 8,000, right? So 8,000 sats, so not bad, right? Not bad. So let's move on. 589 XRP. Let's move on to Nano BTC. All right, Nano BTC. My only concern about Nano BTC is like we broke this area of support, but it doesn't mean like we cannot jump back above it, right? If we don't jump back above it, definitely we can be moving below this area of support, area for below this area of support, now acting as a resistance, right? So but if like we jump back above it, our side is pretty healthy, okay, very healthy. Our side, that's a 2-day chart, right? We got this descending basically a sort of descending triangle. So you could be like, oh, we broke it, and then we're going to do a 1-to-1 extension, and price going to go to 0, stuff like that, right? So be cautious, right? Even though we broke it, it is coming back to retest it. If we can jump above it, which is like 8,000 to 850, I think we retested 865, 850 range, but could not sustain the momentum. But as soon as we jump above 8,000, 850 range, it is going to look good, at least for the short term, right? So look for, we could get this move, pump back up, and then get a nice resistance, and then take it to the upside, just like the rest of the alt, right? So at least that's what I see for Nano. I'm not extremely bullish for Nano, but at least for the short term, right? I remember being very bullish on Nano last year in this area with the triangle. and I keep saying it, Nano gonna break out, Nano gonna break out, and we did get the breakout, okay? And Nano broke out with a not in cash, but NAVCOIN, okay? NAVCOIN, they got the same pattern last year. NAVCOIN, Nano, XRP, you know, XRP broke the downside, and I think like I haven't taken a look at NAVCOIN for a while, but I was very active with Nano. We got this bull flag we called for this move, and it did well, okay? It did well. The first week of April was the only coin, right? Basically, that the only coin that, you know, that was able to basically go back and retest April 1st price, okay? April 1st prices. So you can see April 1st, that's when alt started to suffer. You can see Nano still continue the uptrend, right? It was very strong, and Stratus also, and I mentioned it multiple times. So pay attention to it. I think like this bottom formation gonna hold at least for the short term, and we could be, you know, facing some nice I think it is one of the safest coin to be buying right now, okay? So 1 2 3 4 5. So it could be a pullback, a drop down before another move, because we broke this trend line. So that's my only concern. That's why I want to see like a jump above this area, okay? That's why I want to see a jump above 850 range, okay, cleanly. But if we can accumulate, not a financial advice, it is not financial advice, but so 50 MA on 5 days chart. You must be talking about BTC 5-day chart. I was looking for on BTC 5-day chart. I'm still waiting for that crossover, guys. I haven't talked about it much, but haven't been talking about it much since we got that run up. Right, that's a 5-day chart. So, because 5-day chart, we got one crossover. I was paying attention to, right, which is the 21 crossing, could be crossing over the 100, right? That's one crossover I was looking at least for the short term. But as I said, right, back in 2018, right, you can see before the crossover it got altered, and basically we made a 3-wave move, exactly similar, very similar move, okay? You can see when Elliott Wave analysts say like a 3-wave move, it is pretty clean, right? Same exact 3-wave move before the before the crossover. So be cautious, right? We got multiple signs, and we talked about it, right? Even though I was looking for that crossover, I said exactly sometime before the crossover you can get this type of a 3-wave move pullback. All right, so but price was still bearish, okay? I mean, market was still bearish. Price wanted to act funny, but was still bearish. Skip now. So gotta keep that in mind, guys. We're looking good, but we got a lot of bearish signs. We just have to respect. It doesn't mean BC cannot pump, but what I'm saying is, even back in November when I was saying it, guys, I said exactly in my public, both public and premium, right? So BC going back up all the way to even like 10K, not gonna change anything about the macro picture, right? The macro is still bearish, all right? It is still bearish, and I'm gonna say it loud and clear. The macro picture is still bearish, all right? It is still bearish. As we said it back in, it is not easy to say like a BC is bearish. I know when BC pump like 2,000 points, most people are gonna be scared to say we bearish, right? But I'm saying it loud and clear. it is still bearish. Okay, I'm still 60% bearish. Okay, none of that like we could pump blah blah blah. I'm still bearish. All right, so you cannot be bull and a bear at the same time, right? So you cannot be a bull and a bear at the same time. You just, I know we're still in the market to make money, but when I see like a structure being not so bullish for the macro level, I'm just gonna we just have to say it as it is, right? You do not have to agree with me. I would love for you to like to disagree, so you can prove me like show me some charts, some analysis why you bullish. I'm bullish on the short term, right? We can push to 93, 95, right? But it's not like I'm saying like we're gonna hit like 16, 20, 30, 40, 50k, right? Like do a moon boy analysis and draw a trend line right there and say, hey guys, next target is 120 extension, 17k. I could do that, right? But yes, it's in the chart, we can make it, but it has to prove me wrong. That's what I'm trying to say, right? That's what I'm trying to say. Zen BCH, please. Matic. Hey, what's up, Jeff? Guys, I'm telling you, man, do not fall for that nonsense halving. I'm telling you, I know when BC was, I don't know how to say it, but before the backed, I was telling you guys, backed gonna dump it. You guys been saying back to gonna pump BTC to 50k, right? And I was like, back gonna dump it. Back did dump it. XRP, same thing. But like before, like just about before the swell, most people have been trying to like pump XRP or XRP gonna go to the moon. I was like, man, XRP already pumped 40%. So it's don't buy XRP above 30 cents. Okay, do not buy XRP above 30 cents, right? And it dropped almost 45% after that. So do not fall for that for that hype. Most people call it having hype. You gotta think about it. Bear market gonna eat the hype, right? And as soon as BTC capitulate, you're not gonna hear anybody talk about like halving. Okay, everybody gonna be like, oh no, the halving, blah blah blah. It's different this time. So be careful. Most people told you about Fidelity, told you about Backed, told you about the CME. What else? The ETF, whatever. None of that stuff happened, guys. So as a retail investor, you wanna, as a trader also, right? You wanna be careful with those news, guys. You wanna be careful. You wanna be extremely careful. If somebody tell you like something gonna happen like 20 times, it never, nothing happened, right? Why would you be bullish on some sort of news, right? So be careful, man. Be extremely extra. It's your money. Buy. I'm not saying it's gonna drop, but I'm not saying it's not gonna drop. I'm saying it's gonna drop, of course, right? But I'm not saying it can't go up, right? So make sure to do your own due diligence, right? I'm clear on my analysis. I'm not saying 50-50 or like stuff like that. I'm saying clearly I'm 60% bearish, right? And I was basically bearish all the way down to 7k and say exactly do not short BTC below 7k. Yes, because I was expecting like BTC could just give us a very surprising move, right? So, and it did, right? And it did. Do not short BTC below 7k. It was pretty clear, right? It was pretty clear. And do not basically short XRP below 20 cents was pretty clear, right? So accumulate XRP below 20, 18 and down, right? And I actually had a buy order for XRP from like 16.5 all the way down to 18. It didn't hit it, but it's okay, right? It's okay. Let me take a look at Zen BCH. We already talked about BCH, but we're gonna go back to BCH. Let's talk about it. It's Friday night, so we're just gonna take our time. Let's take a look at Matic. Matic, I told you guys I don't want to talk about Matic after that big sell-off for some weeks, right? Let it consolidate. Let it give us some more data. So, but as of now, man, I don't see anything, any sort of pattern on Matic. It is moving on a triangle, so let it basically break this 21 EMA on it already broke it. Let's take a look at it on different time frame. Okay, that's your 100 EMA on the daily, so give it a chance to break it. It's not looking bad, right? It can definitely, just like what I'm expecting from XRP, it can push and retest this top. It can push and retest this top, right? So keep an eye on it, right? It can push and retest that top. That's the most I can expect, but I'm not expecting like 600 and stuff like that, right? But first of all, it has to break this 100 EMA, which is like 220, 212, right? The 100 EMA, right? So we already broke 200, basically 200 EMA at 200, right? 200 EMA at 200 SARS. so that's good. Hey, what's up, Gwen? Loom network. Let's check SE. I mean not SE, but CER. I think I used to take a look at this one. Wow, looking nice. That's a daily. So this reminds me of Tron. So when Tron made this bottom formation last year, similar move, okay, similar move. So no sign of reversal as of now, right? So I would just let it consolidate a little further. We retested 0.618, so I would at least let it come back down to a retest like roughly 1060, 1070 range, okay, 1060 to 1070 range. Current price, I think current price 1501, right? 1501. So which is this green you know, SEL BTC, right? 1501 current price. So give it some time to retest like this 0.618. It's going to take some time. It might push back up, come back down. So that's what I'm saying. Do not I wouldn't be FOMOing if like we retest like a 236 range, which is like a 1780 first before dropping down. So but as of now, it's not looking good at all. No volume at all, okay? Only 2 pumps in volume, big one and a selling one, right? So hey, what's up, Kavish? Tuxno. Hey, what's up, Mitch? Mitch. All right. So I think we already talked about VET. Tezos, we talked about it is a good buy. Last time we analyzed Tezos, we said you know, it is a good buy, okay, even though we called for a retracement from a $1.80 range. We said like roughly around $1.20. Give it a shot to retest a 0.618 to 0.786, right, if you are swing trading. But you know, if you're huddling, it might not be a good time to be selling. I would just huddle for a couple more years or stuff like that. But if, for a swing trade, it is a nice swing trade, right? Could retest this top. So XTZ Modero. Okay, OneChain, we already back up above 2,000, almost 2,200 right now. Doesn't want to break 2,000, right? So that's a good sign, at least for the short term. That's one BTC, right? You can see it on the screen. So pretty much very similar to Nano. So what Nano did like back in 2018, similar structure, okay? It could be could be in this very tight range for the next few weeks if it doesn't want to break out, right? So I'm not saying it's not going to break out next week, but it could be in this range for a very long time if it doesn't want to break out. Nano did the same thing, but as soon as you get the breakout, just wait for the bull flag. Most of the time, these alt, if they break out after a triangle, they usually give you basically a bull flag, right? Let's take a look at NAVCOIN and see. NAVCOIN give us NAVCOIN did not break out. Let's see. That's a coin I thought was gonna do well last year. Right there, similar to was looking very similar to XRP, right? But we got the breakout and it didn't do well. Okay, it just basically hasn't done well since, right? It did not do well at all. So it is one coin you gotta be paying attention. Could wake up at any given time, right? So you got plenty of alt right there, man. Like still like a sleeping, not very cheap, like below like 1,000 sats. And I think the high for NAV was like, it's a privacy coin also, right? Remember. So the high got a big dump, guys, from almost 50,000 sats, guys. So from 50,000 sats. So that's man, that's a big sell-off, guys. So people are calling for alt bull market when this coin like a tap out from 50,000. That's 99% drop versus BTC. Not even like on dollar value, but versus BTC. So I think still pretty cheap, right? So Tron is making a bottom formation, but still not strong enough for for further push. I would like to see Tron basically pump above this 21 weekly EMA and give us it's not going to give us time for a bull flag, I don't think so, but let's see. We just need to close above this 21 weekly EMA, this yellow line for Tron. Very good resistance, right? So as long as we close above it, it's going to look good. Okay, RSI looking great. Okay, we don't have any divergence, but it is looking good, right? You got the divergence like previously right there, right? So not a strong divergence, right? RSI was still dropping, so it's kind of hard to say right now if like we're gonna get the divergence. Wait to wait till we hit like a 150 again, but we might not hit 150 like when we need it, right? So I would just accumulate from this area of 200 to 150 and look for a further move to the upside, right? A pullback to roughly 300 sats all the way up to like a 400 sats. So but we're gonna need to break this 21 EMA on a daily. Hey, what up world? What's up, Jamie? We already talked about Matic. Hey guys, make sure to join our public Telegram group. If you want to upgrade to our premium member, you can also upgrade to our premium member, right? Premium members, daily analysis, price target, price setups. So Matic, we already talked about it. That's a weekly. It seems like it is on the weekly it gives you different perspective, but let's see, and I'm looking forward to retest this area at least for the short term, but we're gonna need to break the weekly 21 EMA. On the daily you get different type of structure, but one thing we need to do on the daily, as we just said, right, we need to break this 100 EMA on the daily, right, this red line, and try to retest like 50% of this week right there, right, which is like 266, right? So hey, what's up, Series Brad? Bearish divergence on BTC higher time frame. I'm bearish, so I would love to see it. Bearish divergence. What time frame you talking about? Like you might be talking about the daily. I think we talked about the this one is not that strong, so don't sleep on BTC. Even though I'm bearish, do not sleep on BTC, right? So like I said, we still got a momentum to push like to like a 93 to 95 if we do not see like a more selling pressure you know, the next few days, right? We got the momentum to do so. So because volume in favor of the basically of the you know, volume in favor of the bulls. So let's see, right? 200 EMA, that was my initial target. Let's see, it wasn't 200 EMA. The red line. That's a 200. That's a 200. We broke the 200 EMA, broke the 100 EMA, broke the 21 EMA. So excuse me. So the bulls, guys, they very on a lower degree. It's nothing you can say, right? It's nothing you can say. The only bearish momentum we got is like the weekly pullback. Okay, it is a normal pullback. Like I said at the beginning of the live stream, we got this move, right? And if you've been following this channel, you know we said like BTC pushing back up. BTC pushed back up to 9,500. It's not going to change anything about the bigger picture, right? It's not going to change anything. We said exactly we're gonna at some point, right? We're gonna retest 50% of this red candle, and then we're gonna retest at least 50% of this you know, rejection wicks. Right? So I'm not surprised like it is pushing to the upside. It is like I was just expecting to hit like a, you know, 63 to 57, then give us this move, right? But that's one of the reasons I didn't want to short like you know, I wasn't bearish on BTC below 7K, right? Because I knew like a 63 to 57 could give us a strong reaction, but we got the strong reaction from like a 6400, right? So which is a very close, right? Very close, very close. Blocks USD, blocks. Are you giving me coins? I don't know. Let's see. CDT, right? I don't know. I never basically traded before. 68 sats versus, man, doesn't have enough data to analyze, but it is pretty much similar to I think NKN, right? We just analyzed NKN. That's the only thing you got right now. Okay, I would not be selling at this point. It's not personal advice. It's not personal. Yes, it's not financial advice. I would not be selling at this you know, at this current stage. Pretty similar to ICX also, right? Beautiful wedge. Let it mature. You know, even if it moves like a sideways, you know, I would, okay, let it mature, give us a breakout, right? But not enough data to basically call for a moon analysis, right? So Bitcoins, I think Bitcoins is let's see, I forgot that name. They used to have a different name. Oh no, it's not B, it's Voyager, not this one, not BQX. They all looking similar, guys. So same structure, okay, like I just said, okay, similar structure. Just let it mature. It is moving sideways. Just it is basically accumulative. So nothing to trade. It is just buy and hold it. So bullish MACD. That's a bigger time frame. Let's take a look at the weekly. MACD. I mean, that's the best time to be buying, right? That's the best time to be buying. MACD basically very strong, keep pushing, but price is not doing you know, doing what it's supposed to be doing. So push to the upside, retrace down 50%. That's a good time to be buying. Not like, you know, when we jump above this 21 EMA. I like to see sometime, you know, price action below the 21 EMA, but I like to see confirmation sometime above the 21 EMA. But if you can find these alt below the 21 EMA, that's a good buy, okay, on the weekly. On the daily, most of them probably like below the 100 EMA. So, you know, that's a good area to be buying, right? That's a good area to be buying. So it is just basically correcting right there, right? That's a signature move for BTC, so most likely going to give us this move, right? Most likely gonna, so it is a good buy on the lower degree. Okay, it is a good buy. So let's take a look at HT, because this pattern just remind me of HT USD. Let's take a look at on Wabi. Okay, Wabi, that's what we said like last time when we basically as soon as I saw this pattern the other day, somebody in the premium member mentioned it. I think Gupta, right? Midas. So Midas mentioned this this coin, and I was like, man, this is so bullish, man. And this coin like to follow BTC. So as soon as we saw, we said exactly this is a bullish pattern, right? So it is pushed back up. Now it capitulated, pushed back down, so it could retest this area again, right? And then give us another move, right? So which is not good, at least for the short term for BTC, if like we're gonna make another correction and then push it upside. But it is following BTC exactly perfectly, right? So we call this one, right, from $3 all the way up to like a 335 range, right? So that's a 10% move drop. Now it is making a flag, so let's see if we can get this move before dropping, right? So HT is not looking bad at all. So but looking at HT, you can see like BTC could be dropping, because BTC, it follows BTC like a, you know, very, very closely. So this is very impulse, and then we got correction. That's impulse, that's correction. That's, at least for the short term, that's what I'm looking at. So let's get this move first, right? After we get this move, we're gonna reanalyze and see if it wants to get this correction afterward and the final move, or it's just gonna pull back 50% and get the final move, right? So you can get both, but just have to analyze after we get the move down. So this is a confirmation, not a confirmation, but it gives us a alert, you know, basically a confidence like a BTC could be dropping very slowly. Okay, that's a 7% drop, so 7% drop, so we could see a 5-6% drop from BTC. So yeah, all right, Gupta, 50% of your portfolio. Yep. Yep, it is looking good in terms of charting. You kind of got me hooked on it, right? So and I think we started talking about it after we basically got this move. You guys, you remember, right? A couple of weeks ago, like back in November when we got this move, we said like we're gonna pump back up, right? So this is just a correction. You know, it is just a correction based on you know, the current analysis. So you know, even back, I think you asked me about September also, we said we're going to pull back. It capitulated, we said we're going to pull back. So on the bigger picture, it seemed like we just, you know, got the correction, right? So we can get this you know, 5-way move down later, right? So right, move down. So I think like this coin is basically telling us a lot about BTC, man. So 0.618 going to be roughly around 170. I'm not saying Gupta is going to drop to 170. Right now it's like 370, but I would be at least be very cautious, right? If you're in profit, not financial advice, I would at least take some, right? Take some, yeah, you know, 15-20%. I'm just saying random numbers, right? But take even 1% profit and then put it on the side for later accumulate later. So all right, guys, we talked about alt, we talked about BTC, we talked about King XRP, and we said we're just going to recap what we talked about BTC. We're just going to recap it on the weekly. You know, the bullish pattern for BTC, it is nothing but the weekly volume on Binance, okay? And we said exactly the type of volume we got on Coinbase is not the same type of volume we got on Binance, so we just have to be very cautious. We cannot just like say we bullish, the volume is big, in you know, using one exchange, right? So you have to take into account all the other exchanges. Yes, Binance is a big exchange. It is a big exchange, but at the same time, you cannot just be fully comfortable of saying like you should only use Binance to analyze your chart, right? So like I said a few weeks back, most of you guys sometime pay attention to what I'll be telling you. When the weekly time frame was on the weekly time frame, when the 100 EMA on Binance was roughly 6,900, right? BTC pumped to 10.5, right? That's when I started showing you. Okay, that's on the Coinbase or Bitstamp. On Bitstamp, right? When BTC pumped to 10.5, if you go back and watch my October's live stream, right? I was saying, can the weekly 100 EMA saves Bitcoin? And I showed you exactly, right? Let's do this. Let's see. Oh, I didn't know I was live, right? So so if you go and check my channel, I was basically showing you guys you know, the mother of all fake out, right? So and can the weekly 100 EMA says BTC, that was like over 2 months ago, right? 6,900. So you can see at that time, like, we didn't even get the chance to capitulate like below 6,900. I was saying like, can the weekly 100 EMA saves Bitcoin? Because the weekly 100 EMA on Bitstamp and on Binance is not, you know, they're not the same, right? For whatever reason, they're not having the same EMA. So let's keep an eye on the you know, on this structure, right? Keep an eye on it. Okay, we got this three-way move down, right? And then we got this we're looking for this move to be a corrective move, and then we're going to be looking for another pullback. All right, so just to make it a very simple, that's what I'm looking for, at least for the short term for BTC. So it doesn't have to look like this perfectly, but you know, in terms of price action, it could be very similar. It seems like it is dropping. We just broke man, it seems like it's dropping. It just broke 8,900. Yep, we just broke the 15 minutes 21 EMA. So 100 you know, 100 EMA on the 15 minutes going to be the next support, 88.66. If we break it, we just have to retest the 200, you know, the 200 EMA. Check the hourly. Yep, so 88.66 at the same time going to be your 21 EMA on the hourly, right? Which is your 100 EMA on the 15 minutes at the same time. So it is not going to drop it. It is not going to break it that easy. So, but keep an eye on this 100 EMA on the hourly, right? 86 right now, almost 8,500. So it look like it's going to get support 88.80. Yep, it's gonna get a support. That's the hourly time frame, right? BTC USD. Yep, you already got the support. You can see the 21 EMA is very important, guys. Very important. You can see it, bang, right? And we talked about this, like, you know, when we started. You see, it doesn't want to break it. So as soon as we break it, that's a nice short opportunity down to you know, 8700 range. So that's almost a 2% drop, right? A 2% drop. Let's see, not quite. Yep, 220. That's a 2% drop. We retested 50% of the rejection week, so we're starting to build some bearish momentum. So that's a good sign. Okay, 50% of this week we already went back and retested. So if you follow our analysis, premium member analysis, you would have caught this short price going back up to 50%. So if you're a premium member, you should have caught this one 50% of this week. All right, so and break off the 21 EMA, retest this 100 EMA, and on the hourly, okay, and then get this pullback. So you sent super chat, you didn't see it. I think I saw your super chat. No, it's Kavish Mehta. I didn't see it. All right, guys, be safe out there. Market volatility gonna be high. So if you're bullish, good luck. If you're bearish, yeah, make sure to be cautious at what price level, because these bulls, guys, they're pretty hungry right now. So we've been crushing them since like June, July. So they're really not feeling so good right now. So be cautious out there, right? All right, guys, thanks a lot for watching. Make sure to join our public Telegram group, okay, link in the description. Make sure to hit the like, subscribe. Also, you can upgrade to our premium member. We do this every day almost, price analysis, price action. We don't give like 50 points target, stuff like that. Most of our targets pretty much like 600 points or more, sometimes 1,000 points, but most of the time averaging like 600 to 800 points target. I do not give like 100 points to 100 points target. It is just headache, right? You're not going to sleep, right? If I give you 100 points target, you might not have time to react to market, right? Volatility. All right, guys, thanks a lot for watching, man.